I'm Dava Hammock. I'm with the Insight Realty Network. I'm a licensed Texas realtor, and I'm here with Daryl Williams, and he is a Texas licensed property tax consultant, and he is going to tell us why we should get our neighbors to protest their taxes also.
Yes, very important that if you have access to an HOA or you have a lot of folks in your neighborhood, it's important that everyone protests, and this is the reason why. If the appraisal district doesn't have market sales to substantiate an increase, to get that full 10% increase that's allowable by someone's homestead exemption, if they don't have that information, the next thing the appraisal district system is going to go to is the notified values of all your neighbors. And they're going to adjust for square footage, land, and features, and you may have 500 properties in your neighborhood, and they're going to take, based on my experience after over 3,500 protest hearings for 2020, what I found is that when they didn't have the market data to do it, they go looking for the neighbors, and what they do is they, if you have 500 properties, one being the lowest, 500 being the highest, I would notice that the district would take properties like 491, property 387, property 505, property 502, and they would use those higher end properties, and all the lower properties would be omitted. So, and of course, that's an excellent time. I love when that happens during hearings, because now I can present all the lower ones, and those should be considered for a fair, uniform, and equal taxation of the property. So when your neighbors protest, their values get lower too. And as their values get lower, the average of what everybody's paying in the neighborhood on taxes goes down, because they don't have the evidence of those higher values to put in front to substantiate their inflated value amount. So very important that if you can, tell as many folks as you need. If you have 500 people in your neighborhood code, you don't need all 500, but if you had 50 of them and all of them protested, they create evidence for the next year for you to get a reduction. Now, vice versa, if no one is protesting, then all of those values get higher and higher, and then the district will use those to substantiate an increase for your property.
And you only have to have 6.
Well, actually, in an equity hearing, you need 9, typically a minimum of 9. The appraisal districts will tend to use 14, 15, 20. I'll use as many as I can find. If I can use 50, I'll get an average of 50. If I can use 20, I'll use those. And then after we adjust for land, square footage, features, effective year, depreciation value, after all those proper adjustments are done, of course, we're going to pick the 9 that's in the middle. So if you have 20, you have one on the high end, you have one on the low end, we're going to get the true median. And
versus
that's
the
the
tax
fair amount.
district getting all the ones close to the top of the board.
Exactly. People would be surprised at how the district feels they can prove that number, but they're using they're using inflated amounts. They're not considering the lower amount, and that's where the property tax consultant comes in handy to present those in the proper way, and then there's your reduction.
Awesome. So we definitely need to tell our neighbors to jump on board and protest their taxes.
You're missing the boat if you don't. It's very, very important that you're not, just the one-trick pony in your neighborhood protesting. Sure, you'll get a reduction, but as everyone gets together and protest, then the amount of evidence the district has to use against a property owner to increase their taxes goes down tremendously.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure.